You never know where life will take you. It can be hilarious, entertaining, surprising, or even terrifying. Join your hosts, Mike and Courtney, for real-life adventures with Eaton on the Go. Life at the Island podcast.
Hey, welcome to the Island. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Mike.
Thanks to those of you watching on YouTube and listening on Apple, Pandora, Spotify, or anywhere else you can find your podcasts. And a shout out to those new listeners in the Bahamas.
I know, that's cool.
I love it.
It's always kind of cool to see a new country pop up.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So yeah, we're here we are at the island, kind of a different looking island, but we're here nonetheless.
We're here.
And we have our drink of the week. What are you having this week?
Just some gin and club soda.
Well, just. That's a great drink.
It is a good drink. It's
All right,
kind of
I'm
a go-to.
Super happy to talk about my drink of the week because it's one that I picked up a couple years ago and I drank all of it, and you can only get it in some of the southern states.
Right.
So like it's actually made in Texas.
Okay.
Because it's called Texas Ranger. And the first time that I actually got this, yeah.
You didn't have a. You didn't.
No,
I was helping.
I have Mr. Ed. We could play that. But no, Texas Ranger is this whiskey that I picked up a couple of years ago and tried it for the first time. And quite honestly, the only reason I got it was because of the label. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
But I got it and I could not believe how good it was. And and this bottle's pretty cheap. It was only like $30, less than $30 for the bottle.
Yeah, it was like 26.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
We transported it over state lines.
We did. We brought 3 bottles back.
Yeah, we did.
Because it was so good. But here's the thing I like about this.
Can't get it in Illinois.
Yeah, we have tried and tried. Couldn't get it. So I picked it up, and I love whiskeys.
I know you do.
But this one has such a caramel taste to it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's tasty.
Yeah, it's very good.
Well, good. I'm glad you were able to bring some bottles back in
My
bag.
Me too. What's our cheers of the week?
I think our cheers of the week should be just the fact that it's really been a nice weekend.
Man, it has
far.
been. Yeah.
So
I think an early spring is here.
Hopefully Groundhog Phil
right?
was correct that it'll be an early spring.
I sure hope so.
Anyway, oh shoot, I have to drink. Cheers, cheers.
Cheers to you. Ooh, that's so good. Okay, so if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget at the bottom, you can hit the subscribe button, subscribe to our channel. If you're listening on, let's say, Apple or Spotify or whatever, give us a rating, drop us a comment. We'd love to hear from you.
We would. Absolutely.
All right, so I have a question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever walked into a room and forgot why you were there?
Yes.
I mean, I know you're next to perfect, so this probably never happens to you.
It happens all the time, and you know it.
That's true.
And I also know you do the same.
I do. Sometimes I can be very forgetful, and I don't really understand that sometimes because I'll go with the best of intentions, and it's on my mind. I know exactly what's going on, and the second I get in there, I cannot remember why I went in there.
Yeah, you also sometimes can't remember what I just said.
That does happen a lot, and then I get in trouble.
Yeah. Listen.
You listen.
You listen here. Listen here, boy.
All right, so I'll tell you probably one of the most embarrassing moments for me when I forgot what I was doing.
Okay.
Obviously, for those maybe just tuning in, you don't know, I am a cop for a living, and I pulled over this car for an expired registration, meaning their sticker on their license plate was expired. You have to do that every year here in Illinois, which most states you do. They had an old one by like 3 or 4 months or something. Pulled them over, not a big deal.
Right.
But I go up to the car, and I'm not one of these cops that ask the question, do you know why I pulled you over? I don't ask people that. I don't like it. Nothing wrong with people that ask. I don't. So I go up to the car, and all of a sudden, I can't remember why I pulled him over. I can't. I have no, and I'm standing there like,
I don't think I've heard this story yet.
Idea. So I'm like trying to stall. So I'm like, driver's license and insurance card, please. Okay. They hand that to me. Still can't think of it. So I thought, well, I'm going to pull the old question out. Do you know why I pulled you over? Thinking
they would know.
They would tell me. And then I could say, oh, yeah, that is why I pulled you over.
Yeah, normally perps don't admit to their
That's true.
bad behavior.
That's true.
So no, before you stopped the vehicle,
Yeah.
did you call in why you were stopping the vehicle?
Well, I don't tell them why I'm stopping the vehicle.
So you couldn't even go back to your vehicle.
Well, no, but I did. But I ran the plate, and that's how it. So it was up on my. It was up on my screen. So anyway, I asked him the question. I said, "Sir, do you know why I pulled you over?" And he says, "No." And I said, to be honest with you, neither do I.
That's not good for court.
I have no idea. No clue why I pulled you over. There was a reason. I know that for a fact. I just can't remember it right now. I was so embarrassed. I went back to my car, and the second I opened my door, I looked at the screen, and it shows expired on there. And I thought, of course, it was an expired plate. That's what we call a clue.
That's what we call a clue there, detective.
So, of course, I had to go back up. And by this point, we're all laughing, because I'm like, I can't believe I forgot why I pulled you over. And, of course, I did not give him a ticket for the expired sticker.
You were forgetful.
Forgetful, yes. So that leads me into my Perp of the week.
All right.
Who happened to be forgetful. And this was on a Saturday, December 21st. Now, this guy, I don't know if I mentioned it's in Seattle. See, I already forgot if I mentioned it or not. And
we all know.
He goes into this shop that sells marijuana. And he decides, of course, it's a marijuana shop. There's going to be a lot of cash, right? So I'm going to go in, and I'm going to rob this place. He has a gun. Goes in.
Is this recent?
This was a couple years ago in December.
Okay.
So
I didn't know this. Apparently, you can sell recreational, or was this medicinal marijuana?
It doesn't say.
Okay. I don't know about that in Washington.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay, anyway, sorry.
Or
it's
maybe
a big thing right now in Illinois.
Or maybe it was an underground shop that he robbed. I don't really know.
Could be.
I'm just going off this report that I was reading. So he goes in there, and he robs him, and he gets this big sack of cash. And he thinks, well, while I'm in here, let's take some marijuana with me.
Right.
Right? So he says, I'm going to steal all this marijuana. So he puts the cash down, and he starts collecting up all of the weed that he can find to take with him. And he runs out the door. And then he realizes, oh, crap. I forgot
the money.
The cash. I left the cash in the shop. So, of course, by this time, the employees are freaking out. So they lock the door.
Oh.
And now he comes back, and he can't get in. So he's so mad that he starts firing his pistol into the business. Now, one of the clerks got shot.
Oh, that's
but
not good.
Did not die. And
not
it was
fatal.
Yeah, it ended up being okay. But
yikes.
It's kind of scary deal. But, I mean, how crazy is that? You go in there for one purpose.
To rob
and he screwed it up.
For money.
Yeah. He got so excited about the weed. So.
Well, there's people out there that could be perps and not even know they're perping.
That's true.
You know why?
Why?
Because there's all kinds of crazy laws on the books that...
Yeah, okay. Nice segue.
Did you like that?
That was smooth as silk, baby. Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of crazy laws in the books. And so we kind of dug into some of them because some of them are just kind of ridiculous. And here's the thing. Here's my question.
Okay.
Before we get started and go through some of these, because you will find some of these to be absolutely ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But I always have to ask the question, if it's a law...
Somebody did it.
Yeah. Not only did they do it, but it became such an issue that they had to write a law about it, right?
Exactly. Like in Alabama, there must have been a lot of people driving blindfold because it is illegal to drive blindfold in Alabama. I would think it would be illegal to drive blindfold in any state.
Right.
Because most likely you'll get into some sort of accident.
I mean, I would be alarmed if I was driving my cruiser down the street and somebody was blindfolded driving.
It'd be a little bit scary.
Quite frankly, as distracted as some people are, it's like they're driving blindfolded.
Is that where keep your eyes on the road came from?
Could be. Could be. All right. Now, here's one. I found this one to be quite odd.
Yes. Okay. Do tell.
In Arizona, so for those listening in Arizona, just so you know, it's illegal for a donkey to sleep in your bathtub.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
true story.
One of my favorite parts of hearing these crazy laws is an explanation of why they became a law, like we were just talking about. Do you have an explanation for this one?
Well, some of them I do, some of them I don't. This one, in 1920s, a local dam broke, flooding a rancher's home. The rancher's donkey had become accustomed to sleeping in the bathtub, which filled with water, and it whisked him miles away. And after working to rescue the animal, the town passed the law, which is still in place today.
I don't know which is weirder, that they passed a law because of one donkey floating down the road in a bathtub,
Yeah.
or because there was a donkey sleeping in a bathtub.
That's true. But I guess I look at it this way. In the 1920s, what exactly did you have going on at that point in
All
time?
kinds of cool stuff.
Well, you did. I agree with that. But as far as, like today, in the 20s, they couldn't go on YouTube and see this stuff.
True.
This was like, I can't imagine this was the talk of the town.
Well, yeah, it definitely.
That there's a
would be
donkey in a bathtub.
I know. Well, I'm happy that they saved it.
Well, yeah, me too.
Yeah. So
What's
that's
that?
good.
What's that donkey on Shrek? What's his name?
Hee haw? No.
No, but do you remember the show Hee Haw?
Oh yeah.
That was a weird show.
I don't remember the donkey on Shrek's name.
What was his name?
We could probably.
Oh, come on. This is ridiculous.
We could probably-
Everybody listening right now is
It's
yelling it in their car.
I really don't remember.
Oh, it was Donkey.
Oh
wasn't
my
it?
God, was it really?
Yeah, I think it was his donkey.
No. No, it wasn't. Okay, give me another law. I'm looking it up.
Okay. Now, this one I find odd. In Alabama, it is illegal to have an ice cream cone in your back pocket. So whatever you do, when you go out and get an ice cream cone, don't be tempted to put it in your back pocket. Now, that one is bad. That one's really baffling to me. Because I can't imagine, I can barely hang on to an ice cream cone because it's always, that's one of the reasons why I don't like
somebody put it in their back pocket. Ooh, it's sticky.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's stupid, I guess, if you want to do that. But
Okay, so you were right.
we don't always have the smartest people. Oh, wait.
Donkeys?
Say that, back that up. What did you just say?
You were correct about the name of donkey.
Oh.
It's donkey.
It is Donkey.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad that I redeemed myself because I felt a little stupid that his name is Donkey, and I'm sitting here going, what is
Well, it's like
Donkey's
Seth.
name?
Seth, our oldest, Mike's oldest. This was prior to, well, he did have dog for a while when I met him, but
Yeah.
he had a stuffed animal that was a dog, and its name was Dog.
Yeah.
So,
He was a cute little guy, too.
we used to have to do surgery on Dog because Dog's eyeballs would come out
Yep.
and his nose
Ears would fall off.
Yep.
Well, he did fall off the top of the car once
That's funny.
and got ran over.
Oh, man, but you went
So,
back for him.
Yeah, he needed some major surgery after that point. So, okay, here's one. Just in case you get
The urge.
tempted. In Ohio, which is not too far from here, it's illegal to disrobe in front of a man's portrait.
Oh, portrait. I'm glad you said portrait. I didn't know where you were going with that when you started. A man's portrait.
Portrait.
Got it.
Now, why? Now that's one I don't have the backstory for.
Yeah,
and
why
I would
would
like
that
to
be?
know why that is.
I don't know. Maybe like somebody went into the governor's mansion and decided to take their clothes off.
You know what?
And there's all these portraits of past governors in there. And
You know what this reminds me of?
I
And I
don't
wonder
know.
if anybody listening got the same thing pop in their head when I first heard of this.
yeah,
Do you remember watching Scooby-Doo?
I do.
And they had the portraits on the walls.
Yes, that
when when they walk by, the eyeballs would move
Yes.
because it was like a goblin or whatever.
Oh, that could be why. There's probably lots of ghosts back in the day.
I
in
know,
Ohio.
and that makes me when I hear that, that's what it makes me think
that was
of.
the picture that went into
It
your
was.
head.
I remember the creepy eyeballs of the picture. So every time that scarred me for life, honestly, because every time I walk by a portrait, I take a double check just to make sure their eyeballs aren't moving.
Right. Well, I, for one, will not be visiting Kansas anytime soon because it's illegal to serve wine in teacups. Like, I might want to put my wine in a teacup. Sometimes I put my wine in.
Yeah. I wonder why. I wonder what the explanation of that could be.
Probably because they were tricking people, thinking they were drinking tea and they were drinking wine. It's probably something in the 1920s.
It could be.
It could have something to do with prohibition.
I could just imagine being in my police car. Like, 2 Adam 12. We have a
we have wine.
Wine drinking in a teacup. In progress. Please respond. Code 3.
And then in Delaware, it's illegal to serve perfume as liquor, which is odd.
Yeah. That could come in handy for our dog Killarney's breath.
That could.
But
there's,
make him sick.
Is it because there's like an alcohol content in perfume?
Yeah. Well, just like hairspray.
Or cough medicine.
Yeah.
So is all that illegal too?
So there was a perp that I know that I've dealt with a few times, and they would drink hairspray. Nice drink, You're enjoying that, aren't you? No, but they would. Smooth. Yeah, they would drink hairspray.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is so creepy because perfume. I remember as a kid,
and we're not in Delaware,
when my mom, like, I'd walk into the bathroom when she's getting ready to talk to her, and she'd be spraying 6 cans of hairspray. They're going. It was going.
You wouldn't know what that was like.
I would not. No. But I remember talking, and then the hairspray would get in my mouth, and it was absolutely disgusting. So I'm thinking, who in the world would want to drink that?
Right. Did you say there was a perp that used to drink?
Yeah.
I missed that. I wasn't listening.
Oh, how about that?
I was busy drinking.
I see. Yeah. I see how it is.
Oh. Ooh, ouch.
All right. So here's one that I think is interesting.
Okay.
In Connecticut, and this is a true deal, for real deal.
Yeah, I like this one too. This is a good one.
A pickle must be able to bounce.
To be a true pickle?
To be a pickle.
To be labeled
to be
as
served
a pickle?
as a pickle, it has to bounce.
To be a legitimate pickle, it has to bounce.
And I forgot to go get some pickles because I was going to try it right here.
We should have. We don't have pickles in our house.
Now, it looks like a group of men, the backstory on this one, a group of men wrongfully sold cucumbers marked as pickles. So, to right this wrong, the officials declared that a pickle is legitimate only if it bounces. That was their, and it's a Connecticut state law that still holds that a legally labeled pickle must be able to bounce.
I love it. I think that's fantastic. So, if I went to the store and I wasn't quite sure if I believed the label, I could open the pickle and take one out and bounce it on the floor and I wouldn't get arrested.
Well, I don't know about that, but in Connecticut, that is the law. So you have to be able to test the product.
I could have some reasonable doubt there.
You could.
To not be charged because I reasonably doubted if it was a pickle or a cucumber.
Now, if you bounce it on the dirty floor in the store, you'd have to be prepared to eat it.
You think so?
Well,
I'm not
otherwise
afraid.
you're just
5
destroying
second
the property.
5 second rule.
Even with a pickle on a slimy floor?
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, not going to happen. Well, in Kentucky, a woman cannot marry more than 3 times.
3 different, not be married to 3 different guys at one time.
Cannot marry. Yeah, right. Cannot marry more than 3 times.
Okay, so marry, divorce, marry, divorce, marry, divorce. You're done. That's it.
Right. You can only have one. You can only have a 3rd husband. And I find this interesting that law does not apply to men.
Yeah, that is interesting. You'll have to write them. See what. Maybe
that's where third time's a charm came from.
Oh yeah. That could be. We'll have to look that up too. Man, we have all. The problem is when we do these shows, we create more questions. That we don't know the answers to.
And then we say we're going to do our homework, which I did do homework one time, and I don't think we did anything about that.
No.
Maybe we'll have one whole show of a report on all of the
all the follow-ups.
Yeah.
All the follow-ups we have to do in Louisiana. It is illegal to send a surprise pizza to someone. That's rude.
Even if you pay for it.
Yeah. That's kind of weird, though.
It says
sending an unprompted pizza is considered harassment.
Oh.
Now, I don't know. If somebody were to send me a pizza, I would not feel harassed.
No, I would not. I would feel thankful.
Yeah.
As long as it didn't have onions on it. Then I might feel harassed.
Would you like to go and place your order in case somebody wants to send you a pizza?
Yes, I would, because my order is different than your order. I like pepperoni and mushrooms on my pizza.
Yeah, see, I don't like mushrooms. Too slimy. So if you would, please do that on one half. My half, I would like sausage, cheese, and I really like banana peppers on my pizza.
Wow.
I really do. Surprise pizza, me all day long.
Yeah, we're good.
I will not turn you in, and I will not arrest you.
I wouldn't turn away any pizza, to be honest with you.
That's true.
I don't like pizza with fruit on it.
No, I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't like Hawaiian pizza. You know what? I take that back because I do like pear pizza.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's all weird.
That's even a thing?
Yeah, it's totally
I've heard pineapple. I've never heard pear. That's gross.
So another thing that I find to be very interesting, because we obviously, luckily, don't live in Tennessee, because we would never do this. We would never share our Netflix password. No. Ever. It's illegal in Tennessee to share your Netflix password.
Which, I can understand that to a point.
Yeah, I do too. I think it was meant for this is clearly a new law because Netflix hasn't been around for that long, but it's clearly a law directed at hackers.
Yeah.
Although,
not really, because
kind of.
Well, sort of, but I also think okay.
Yeah, because I
all of our friends, if they didn't track IP addresses and we just said, hey, use my login. Mm-hmm. And, it does take revenue from Netflix instead of selling subscriptions. True. Now it's,
So don't share.
Kind of like if everybody on your block were to get one person got cable and then you just kept daisy chaining it from house to house.
I don't know anybody that does that.
That's bad. Don't do that.
People are actually doing that.
Yeah.
They are. They're putting up Wi-Fi transmitters in a neighborhood, and then the couple of the houses can.
Rude.
I think it's cool.
Did you know that idiots are banned from voting in New Mexico?
It's not very nice to call them idiots.
No, that's actually that's on the books. They refer to people as idiots.
Oh,
which it is kind of rude, but it does. What's interesting about this is it goes to show you.
Does it define idiot in the law?
Well, it says insane persons convicted of a felonious or infamous crime is what they call an idiot. We call those perps here, but no, I think it's interesting how same thing with the comment we were just talking about, how one law applies to a woman and not a man.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So back, when some of these laws are written, they did say things that were, quite frankly, today would be offensive.
Right. Well, everything's offensive today.
Well, that's true.
So
you got a good point there.
Anyway,
I do have another one that I think is.
Should we do one more?
Yeah. It's illegal. And I was actually thinking about doing this year for Christmas, and I decided not to. It's illegal in Montana to give a rat as a present.
So you're going to get me a rat? I actually like rats. I think they're cool. You're more afraid of them than I am.
I would freak out. Now, I will tell you this. Another officer that I know responded to a call recently.
Okay.
Where this lady was driving down the street, and she felt something on her shoulder. And she didn't know what it was, so she went to look back, and there was a giant rat on her shoulder.
What? Where does she park her car?
I don't know, but she's driving down the city street. There's a big rat, and so she pulls over. She's hysterical. She calls the police. This officer responds, and of course, at first he's like, yeah, "Really? Are you sure that that's what?" And she goes, "I'm telling you, 100%, it was a rat. There was a rat on my shoulder." He starts looking under the seats and banging things around. And he goes, sure enough, this ginormous rat that's like the size of a small kitten that comes popping out. Here's the bad part. She's standing outside of her car, clearly traumatized. She's now called the police to help her. And this rat is so frightened, it jumps out of the car and jumps on her leg.
Oh, no, that poor lady can't get away from the rat.
And, kicking her legs. And she got it off, the rat took off. But I thought, holy cow. How crazy is that? So
that is crazy. That brings us into our podcast topic for next week, actually.
Yes.
Which is phobias.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about phobias, and we're going to find out if there's a phobia for Mike's fear of getting bitten.
I bet there
stung.
I bet there is.
And clearly he made it back. We did not have any surprise alligator attacks.
There were not.
I wonder if there's a phobia about surprise alligator attacks. We'll look this up and we'll let you know.
Ooh, that is a good one. No, I don't think it's one thing in particular. And maybe it's the fear of the unknown.
Ooh, we'll
because
look that one up
I do
too.
not like not knowing what's going on.
That must be the cop in you.
Well, that could be. But when I'm going somewhere and I know there's something lurking, for instance, I like to be in the ocean, but it does freak me out because I'm always afraid I'm going to step on a stingray.
Yeah.
Or there's, some evil critter.
We did save a sea hare.
Oh yeah,
Just
that was cool.
last week when we were, or 2 weeks ago when we were.
We didn't even know what it was.
No, we just
But
knew it
we're
was
like,
drying up
yeah.
and didn't belong on the sand.
Yeah.
So we
We're
picked
like,
it up
We have
at-
to get that back in the water.
And we did. And then we just found, well, you just saw something on Facebook that they posted that
Yeah. How
these
weird
sea
is that?
hares. It's kind of cool. We'll send a picture.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put a picture up of a sea hare.
So phobias, I think what we need to do, if you're listening, you need to help us out because we want to hear from you. If you will send us an email, Facebook message, whatever you got to do, send in your phobia. We're not going to use your full name. But
Send in your fears, yes.
Yeah,
and
I would
we'll
like to
find
know-
your phobia.
Yes. What you're
We will
most
diagnose
afraid
you.
of. Most afraid of.
We will diagnose you.
Yeah.
Not-
eatononthego@gmail.com.
Boom, you got it right.
Yeah. It's
Nice one.
EETEN
On the
@gmail.com.
Yep.
And we'd love to hear from you.
One
Or
last
Facebook.
thing.
Yeah.
My pod quote.
Of course. We have to do
Can't
that.
forget about my pod quote. So I got this from the guy that wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Okay.
You only have control over, this kind of goes along with laws in my mind. You only have control over 3 things in your life: the thoughts you think, the images you visualize, and the actions you take.
That's good.
It is good.
Very good.
So anyway, exciting stuff. All right. Well, good talking to you today.
Subscribe.
Should I just keep talking and you can like mentally put that in there? Yeah.
Subscribe.
Maybe that's a phobia too.
Could be.
Somebody talking in your ear. All right. Good to see you.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
eatononthego@gmail.com. Send us a message. Like us on Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
We'll see you next Sunday.
See you next Sunday.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.